Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash, and I am joined by the one and only Miss Deb Lutz today, also known as Deluxe. Deb, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Crash. I am in your favorite part of the country.
Oh, really? You're in
I
Wisconsin?
am sitting in a hotel lobby in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, my dad and I were just there a couple months ago, and my mom was born and raised in there, Milwaukee, so very familiar with Milwaukee. Um,
Exactly, and your favorite teams,
My
right?
favorite teams, the Brewers and the Bucks, and then a few miles up north, the Packers. So, yep. But we are here to talk tonight, or to talk about tonight's NBA slate. And before we get started with that, if you are new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then go ahead and subscribe. And then after that, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast is being recorded. And with that being said, Deb, let's go ahead and dive right into tonight's NBA slate. We've got, is it 12 games? How many games are there tonight? I don't even know.
At least 10. There were a lot of games and a lot of changes to those games.
For sure. Yeah. So the first game I have on the schedule here listed is the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Detroit Pistons. Who do you have as your top plays for this game?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit light on this game, to be honest, just given the size of the slate and given some of the recent news and just given the overall score on this game and pace of this game. And Cleveland's got a great defense,
Right.
So I'm not too excited. I've got nobody.
Oh no.
Inside, so I'm really just looking at possibly Garland, depending on his pricing. He's still questionable, but he practiced this morning. I think he plays.
Okay.
I was shocked he played 42 minutes in his first game back. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking about possibly going to Garland as well. I know we got ripped off by the news the other day. Coach was all over Garland, and then we found that news that they were going to be playing him in short spurts, which wasn't true at all. He had a career game, basically. If Donovan Mitchell is out, do you have any interest in like LeVert or Evan Mobley or any of those guys, or are you just pretty much just Garland or fade this game?
I think I'm pretty much Garland or fading. Those guys haven't really delivered the value. LeVert's so up and down, can't really trust them, and just too many games tonight that I'm excited about. I wasn't really excited about this one.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Evan Mobley was a little bit in play for me just because Detroit's allowed the most fantasy points to power forwards. So I was kind of looking at that a little bit, but I think you're right. We have so many games to choose from that we don't have to, dive on a play that's a maybe play, that we don't feel great about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. It's the Miami Heat at the Indiana Pacers. The Heat are favored by 3.5 points. It has a 226.5 over under. How do you feel about this game? Are you going to look at some more players in this one, or are you going to stay away from this one as well?
I might be looking for a little value in this game. It looks as though you've got Butler's definitely out. Obviously, Oladipo continues to be out, and they're looking a little thin on their front court as well. So as of now, both Adebayo and Dedmon are questionable, and your Saban's he hasn't played yet this year. So I think I'm going to be looking more at some of the periphery players on Miami. The pace-up game for Miami, Indiana plays pretty fast, and so I like Martin and Coach's favorite player, Max Strus here. I'm going to keep them in my consideration just purely for value. And on the Indy side of things, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to him, but Miles Turner could be a pretty good play if Adebayo sits. If there's no Adebayo, I do not know who's going to guard Miles Turner. So.
Yeah, for me, I do like Max Strus. I think that's a pretty obvious value play in this game. I like if Adebayo plays, I do like him a little bit more on Draftkings than Yahoo. He's 7,700 on Draftkings, 31 on Yahoo. And then I think Tyler Hero is in play again if Jimmy Butler is out, which it looks like he is. He had a real big game last game, and the Pacers have been allowing a lot of points. They're not very good defensively. So I do like him, especially at $27 on Yahoo. I think that's a very fair price. He's a little bit more. He's 76 on DraftKings, 7,000 on Fanduel. So probably going to be a Yahoo specific play for me with Hero, but I do think he's in play. And then on the Indiana side, I like both Buddy Hield and Benedict Mathurin. Miami's allowed the second most fantasy points to small forwards. And so Hield is 6,100 on DraftKings, 6,800 on FanDuel. So he's a little bit more pricey, but Mathurin is only 5,900 on DraftKings, 5,800 on FanDuel. And then they're pretty even on Yahoo. Buddy Hield is 22 and Mathurin is 21. So
nice. I like the Mathurin call there. Yeah, he's been really solid coming off the bench there.
Yeah, and before we go too much further into this slate, why don't we take a look at some ownership here? It looks like my guy Jalen McDaniels is finally getting some love. He is the highest projected owned player on DraftKings.
Well, Hayward is out and he's starting tonight, so that is quite the value. He's definitely going to be in my lineup. I'm drinking the Crash Kool-Aid.
Yeah. They finally moved him from $10 on Yahoo too. He's 13 now, which is still a really good value. I mean, especially with him starting. So after that, we've got DeAnthony Melton, Jordan Poole, Tyrese Maxey, Kevin Durant, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson. I don't know how I feel about that. Jonathan Kuminga, PJ Washington, Kristaps Porzingis, Darius Garland, and Drew Holiday. So of the players that I listed, any of those that stand out to you as somebody that you feel like maybe they shouldn't be as high owned as they are?
Yeah, I'm not too excited about Lowry. I mean, I know it's with he's been playing a little better, and I know it's Butler out, but 6,300 is pretty high, and he's going to get Halliburton defense, and I respect Halliburton D, so I'm not sure he hits his number. I like Porzingis a lot tonight. And I see he's in there. I think everyone else makes a lot of sense. You got a lot of situations. Poole is like the far and away the biggest scorer since Golden State is benching their entire starting lineup with the exception of Looney.
Yeah.
And Melton and Maxey are up there because of the Harden injury. So everything makes sense. I agree with you on Duncan Robinson. That one's it won't take much for him to hit that value. If he puts up 10, 12 shots, but God, you just haven't been able to trust him for about a year and a half.
Right. Yeah, that's the only thing with Duncan Robinson. I'm just not sure how much I would trust him in this game. So if we go over and look at FanDuel, Deb, are you still there? Did I lose you again? Are you there?
I lost you. I know. I feel like I've been going in and out a bit. Have you been noticing
That's only the second time so far. So other than that, it's been pretty good. So let's go ahead and look at FanDuel, their ownership. So we've got Jordan Poole, the highest projected owned at 42.1%. Then Jalen McDaniels, then LeBron, then Looney, Hero, Strus, Caleb Martin, who I think you mentioned, Kevin Durant, Kyle Lowry, Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Joel Embiid, which I think Joel Embiid is questionable, is he not?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play, though. I think he practiced. I can't see him not playing again.
Right. Which is interesting because usually if they're, if they get that questionable tag, their ownership goes down. So for him to be in the top 10, that would be pretty surprising.
True.
And then over on Yahoo, we've got Jalen McDaniels at 60.2% projected.
Wow.
Jordan Poole at 59. Then it goes to DeAnthony Melton at 33. Jared Vanderbilt at 26. Kyle Lowry at 25. Kelly Oubre also at 25. Caleb Martin at 24. Tyler Hero at 23.4. And then Jordan Clarkson at 22.8. So those are how they're looking over on Yahoo. So let's go back to the game-by-game breakdown. The next game on the slate is going to be the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. I show Philly as a 2.5-point favorite, and this game only has a 219.5 over under. So is this going to be another game that you're going to try and fade? Probably.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about this game either. The only caveat to that is I think there is some value. I do like Melton, particularly on DraftKings, where he's only 4,400. A little bit too pricey on Fanduel. Certainly if Embiid's out, it unlocks a ton of value.
Right.
I saw in there. I think David likes Maxey tonight. I mean, Maxey's always a good play.
Mm-hmm.
And with Harden out, he's going to be the number 2 guy. But
sure.
Jalen Brunson is a pretty good defender. So I'm not looking at a ceiling night for Maxey, particularly given the overall team defense as well. And I'd rather take Melton against Evan Fournier defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on Embiid tonight. I'm not sure what his illness is. They said non-COVID. I don't know if he comes back 100%. And I'm not really on Randall tonight. I trust Tucker. I'm pretty much a Melton or bust tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I like Melton as well. I also like Maxey on DraftKings and Yahoo, not on FanDuel though. He's 8,200 over there, so his price is skyrocketed. And then I like Julius Randle a little bit at $29 on Yahoo. I think that's my favorite spot for him. And then other than Melton, maybe Tobias Harris. I think if Embiid's out, that's a solid play, especially at 5,800 on DraftKings and $22 on Yahoo. It's kind of a theme. It seems like the pricing on FanDuel has really gone up on the lightest plays. So that would be it for me. The next game is the Brooklyn Nets and the Washington Wizards. The Nets are actually 3-point underdogs. It's a 222.5 total. So
isn't that unbelievable? I mean, even before Golden State pulled their lineup, they were underdogs as well. Like this is a weird year.
It really is. It really is. So I know you like Porzingis. Anyone else in this game that you like?
Yeah. I feel like I did super well with Patty Mills last year when Kyrie was out. He was playing great. So I'm going to go back to him again. He's super cheap.
I think Mills is a really good play.
Mills, and I like Kevin Durant too. I mean, he's got to put this team on his back now. And who knows how long Kyrie's going to be out? I know it's a minimum of 5 games, could be longer. Durant's got to show what he can do, and so I like him as well.
Yeah, and Durant's from Washington, so he always has like that narrative whenever he goes back there.
Nice.
Yeah. The other guy I like in this game is Royce O'Neal. He's 5,400 on DraftKings, 5,200 on FanDuel, and $15 on Yahoo. Along with Mills, somebody besides Durant is going to have to do some of the scoring. So he's one of the guys that I would look at. He's been playing pretty well, even before Simmons got hurt, and then without Kyrie now. So I like him as well. The next game, I'm probably 100% fading, maybe one play, but it's the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics. I think it'll be a nice game to watch, but from a DFS standpoint, I just don't know that it's there. Boston's a 7-point favorite, and it's a 223.5 over-under, so not the lowest over-under, but I also don't think it's one of the better games from a DFS perspective. So how do you feel about this game tonight?
I'm 100% with you on that. I think, he's had some success against Boston, but this isn't the kind of game where he's going to go off for 60 points or anything like that. So it's definitely more of a cash play. I think he's solid there. But otherwise, I'm not excited about the pricing, and I didn't really see any value here. I'm really, today's a really interesting slate, and for the first time this season, I'm actually going to go stars and scrubs.
Okay.
And I'm really looking at the top line players, 9K and above, and then 4K and below. So Tatum would fit into that, but there's other guys that I'm more excited about tonight. We'll talk about later in some of the other games. So I'm completely fading this game as well.
And I think we lost you for just a second. So who was the Bulls player that you were talking? Was it DeRozan?
Oh, yeah. So Vuk. Yeah.
Vuk.
So
okay.
So I think he's played real well against Boston. I think he'll have a solid game. I don't think he's not going to score 60 though, but I could easily see him hitting value 45 fantasy points.
Yeah, the only play for me that I might consider is Jaylen Brown. 8,200 on DraftKings, 8,300 on Fanduel, $33 on Yahoo, kind of in that middle tier. I think he's a solid play, but that's probably it for me, if anything. The next game is the Los Angeles Clippers and the San Antonio Spurs. The Clippers are a 4.5-point favorite with a 225.5 over/under. This is a game that I have a little bit of interest in, but I also think that it's not quite as interesting as it was when Devin Vassell was out and there was more value. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell probably get most of the usage for me on San Antonio.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I think that San Antonio plays really fast. Their defense isn't that great. So I think it's a little bit of a play-up game for the Clippers. So I'm more likely to go on the Clippers side than I am on the San Antonio side.
Yeah.
With Leonard out and Covington out, Morris has been playing great. He's not a bad value. I'm not too sure about Sochan's defense, given that he's a rookie. It's probably not great. And I don't know. Paul George seems to be pretty inexpensive on FanDuel. He's sub 9K, 8,800. That's a pretty good value on someone. I mean, nobody else is shooting on that team at all. Jackson's not shooting, and Powell's not shooting. So I see him, getting, this could be another 60+ night for him.
True. Yeah. And for me, Keldon Johnson's numbers have been up lately, but I think a lot of that has to do with Devin Vassell being out. And I think his number is going to come back closer to that like mid-30 range where they were before Vassell got hurt.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sold on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't see him, being the alpha on this team. I just don't. I don't have faith in that.
In Johnson, is that what you're?
Yeah, in Johnson. Yeah. I'm sorry about popping in and out.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It happens
to the listeners. I hope the listeners are going with it.
Yeah, it happens to me sometimes with my internet here too. So, so for me, I think Devin Vassell would be a better play. I think Paul George is probably going to guard Keldon Johnson. He kind of likes to take on the best offensive player on the opposing team, so I could see him doing that. But he's only $23 on Yahoo, so I think that's a solid price. 66 and 65 on DraftKings and FanDuel. And I haven't checked. Let me see real quick. Yeah, he's not getting, normally he gets a lot of ownership, but it doesn't look like he's getting that much tonight. So he could be a decent value play.
Yeah.
For sure.
Should we see what's going on in chat here?
Yeah, let's take a look at chat real quick.
All right. Well, I see.
Yeah, I think Patty Mills will start. I saw that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a nice play. I did see. So Sexton value in the Sexton play. But they're also a big time pace up game, and so I like Sexton. Sexton's finally playing better. I think by the end of the year he's going to be their top scorer.
Yeah, and he's in Utah now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he comes off the bench, but he can get. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That just
So, boy from Cali's fading KD. Why? Don't be surprised. KD might not give an F about this particular game. I don't know. I mean, if he doesn't, then they're going to be in for a long season.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good sign if he doesn't care about this game, because I mean they're relying on him to carry the team now, and it's his hometown. So
yeah. If you're not going to get up for that, I don't know what you get up for. So
you probably fade him for the rest of the year. All right, so the next game we have is the Charlotte Hornets, the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis is an 11-point favorite.
Yeah.
227.5 over/under. I know Gordon Hayward's out, but man, that seems like a pretty big favorite to me.
I was surprised.
They've been playing like great basketball lately. So.
Right. I'm not sure this game blows out. I'm definitely surprised about that. I think they hang in there. I mean, I still think, McDaniels has been, coming up. PJ Washington's been playing great. This is one of the higher lines on the slate. I think there's a decent amount of offense here. And I like a few guys. I mean, I think obviously we talked about Jaden McDaniels, and he's a definite go-to.
Right.
And PJ Washington's a good play as well, because he's again going to get more touches with Hayward out.
Yeah, I agree. Did you say Dennis Smith Jr.? What do you think of him?
Yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. and PJ are the other two. I mean, I don't mind. These guys are fairly priced. They're going to get a lot of touches. It's a fast-paced game, so I like them. I like on the other side of things, I'm more after the value. Because I think just in case the game does get out of hand. So I'm looking at possibly Conchar off the bench, who's been getting good minutes, and under 4K. Possibly Desmond Bain. He's really been leading the team in scoring, but his price has come up a bit too. So. Yeah, so that's probably about it for me from Memphis.
Did you say you liked Kelly Oubre or no?
No, I've just never been an Oubre fan.
Yeah, I haven't either. He's so unpredictable with his attitude and everything else. Sometimes he'll get up for a game, and other times it seems like he'd rather be anywhere else but on the court.
Yeah, I mean, this could be one where he scores 45 points. Very fair. But I think Desmond Bain defense, Dylan Brooks defense, I think they're good enough that. I'm not sure I see it.
Yeah, I also like Steven Adams. He's 5,100 on Draftkings, 5,300 on Fanduel, 17 on Yahoo. The Hornets have allowed the fourth most fantasy points to centers, so I think that he could give them some trouble.
Yeah.
I like him a little bit.
That's interesting. Is he getting the minutes?
What's that?
Is he getting the minutes?
Let me see.
Do they play him enough minutes?
That's a good question. He got 34 last game, but before that, 19, 19, 24. His minutes have been down. That 34-minute game, I mean, that's going to be enough, I think.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they're definitely, that's the thing, they're a little inconsistent with his minutes, but against, I think the Hornets are the worst in the league against starting centers, so I definitely don't fault you there.
All right, so the next game we have here on the schedule is the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans, which as of an hour ago has completely changed. So the Pelicans are 10.5-point favorites. I'm pretty sure they weren't that high of a favorite before, and 228.5 total. So one of the higher totals on the slate. Originally, I had both the Splash Brothers here, but obviously all the value. Which of the players in the value pool for the Warriors do you like, and who do you think is probably going to be a fade?
Yeah, I'm really struggling with this because, I had my whole setup played out, and I had Curry actually. I liked him. I liked some of the guys on the Pelicans side of things. Right now, I am probably fading the Pelicans overall because, again, it's going to be a blowout, and I think particularly the guys like Ingram just coming back, Williamson. I don't think they're going to play it. Jones. I don't think they're going to play a ton of minutes. Poole is his ownership's going to be through the roof by the end of things. So either you got to go with it or you got to go contrarian. And as the GPP player, I'm going to go contrarian here and not pick Poole because he's just expensive enough. He's 6.5K. I mean, you really need him to get a 40 to feel like, hey, I really, picked well. So I'm going to go towards some of these less expensive guys. My big question is, do I go with Moody or Kuminga? Moody's been playing better this year than Kuminga, but Kuminga last year when he got the minutes went off.
True.
So,
Yeah.
so that's the struggle for me right now. And I guess part of it, I'm not really sure who's going to get the Herb Jones defense.
Mm-hmm.
But my sneaky play may be to play Jermichael Green, who
Okay.
is
Yeah.
sort of, I mean, he's kind of been the most consistent of all these guys. I mean, he's not gonna give you a 35-point game, but he's 3.6 on DK. So
Right.
if I can get 24 points out of him, I'm thrilled. And
Yeah.
you could plug him in at center, and punt the center position. So I'm probably eyeing him and either Kaminga or Moody. And the other guy I'm actually looking at, not in the starting lineup. Well, we don't know because they haven't posted the starting lineup yet. He may be starting. I like Ty Jerome.
Okay.
Ty Jerome also last year when he was with OKC, when he came
Yeah.
in, he gets a lot of assists, doesn't turn the ball over a lot. So I like him as another sneaky play who may go a little bit less owned than some of the flashier rookies or
Right.
second year guys.
Yeah, for me, I agree with a lot of that. I think that, Poole is kind of that fringe starter. So if he, gets in a blowout situation, he'd probably be the first guy that they pull. And so I don't really like that because, like you said, it's probably going to blow out. I mean, there's just way too much talent on New Orleans for the bench players from the Warriors to keep up, I would think. And then on the Pelicans side, I do think, with Ingram back, it hurts Najee Marshall, but he has been playing well. And I think that if this game does blow out, he'll get quite a few minutes. I mean, he's been getting a lot of minutes lately. And he's a play I like a little bit. So
Interesting, yeah.
kind of playing that blow up narrative. But if it stays close, then he's not going to get that much. But I think if it blows out like we think it will, then he could get some minutes.
I like that. I like that call. Yep.
With Ingram coming back from that injury and everything, I think they'll probably monitor his minutes pretty heavily. So
yeah.
The next game on the slate is a complete fade for me. It's the Toronto Raptors and the Dallas Mavericks. Coach, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm not going to play Luka tonight, but I don't know. It's a 216.5, and I just feel like it's going to be a very defensive-oriented game. What do you think about this game, Deb?
So you and I are on the same exact wavelength. 100% fade for me.
Yeah.
I just think it's a it's going to be a defensive battle. The stars are priced high enough. I don't think Luka hits his ceiling or Siakam. The one guy maybe if Van Vliet's out is Barnes, seems to get a few extra touches, but even he's not that cheap. So
right.
I think and he'll be getting Finney Smith or Bullock defense. So I'm a fade.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right, so we won't waste any time on this game. Let's go to the my favorite game of the night, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Minnesota Timberwolves. This should be a really good game if everyone plays. Milwaukee is a 3.5-point favorite in Minnesota, which is a little surprising to me. I know they're undefeated, but Minnesota's a pretty decent team too, and it's a 227 over/under. So the obvious question is, are you going to play Giannis tonight, or are you going to fade him?
Right now, I've got him in my lineup.
Okay.
I've got him as one of my pay-up guys. As expensive as he is, and he's crazy expensive, I think this is a fun game for him. I think it's it's a pretty fast-paced game.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think they're undefeated. I think they want to kind of keep that momentum going. So he's in for me right now. Yeah.
Okay. And anyone else on the Bucks that you like?
Yeah, I was going back and forth. I was either going to play one of Giannis or Drew, and because I think Russell's defense is like Matador defense.
Right.
I just liked Giannis' game overall better, and Drew's really been priced up. He's now over, he's over 8K.
Yeah.
So he's really finally getting that respect. I don't like Lopez with Gobert there, even though Lopez plays more of an outside game.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like Portis really for that matter either, because Towns actually plays outside.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, Edwards is a little bit sick, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He looked great. I saw him in the Phoenix game last week. He looked amazing. He's a really good player. But I'm not sure if he's playing, so I don't have him in my consideration at this point. And I've not been a fan of Towns this year in his game. So yeah, it's really, I'm looking at, I'm really looking at Giannis. The only other guy who I think is going to get a lot of minutes is if Edwards sits. I like Noel.
Yeah.
He's coming off the bench. I've seen him play live. I like his game, high offensive game, opportunity for a lot of assists, particularly if they're not high on Russell. So yeah, he'd be the other guy that I'd be looking at it, but only if Edwards sits.
Yeah, I like that call. Same thing for me, Giannis, or maybe a pass on this game. Drew Holiday, like you said, he has been priced up. I mean, if I have the salary to play him, I don't mind playing him at 37 on Yahoo. I think that's a pretty decent price. But 8,100 on DraftKings, 8,300 on Fanduel, probably not going to go there. And Lopez, I agree. I mean, he's going to get Rudy Gobert defense, which is going to hurt, like, when he tries to get rebounds and blocks and stuff like that. So that's where he gets a lot of his fantasy points if he's not hitting threes. So, all right, the next game, which normally I'd ask if you were going to this game, but since you're in Milwaukee, I'm assuming you're not. Would be Portland and Phoenix, which currently doesn't have a line. I don't see a line at all for it, so that's interesting. But it looks like Anthony Simons is questionable, so it could be another good spot for value. Shaden Sharp is the obvious play for me in this game. And then on the Phoenix side, who do you like tonight, Deb?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I like the backcourt. They played a couple of weeks ago, and both Paul and Booker had good games, although they lost. So they're not going to want to lose again.
Right.
Lillard was in that game, though. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I like both Paul and Booker. I think it depends on, how much money you have left. Again, with my stars and scrubs, I'm more apt to play Booker tonight. And I also like Sharp, although I don't know, what is he priced at right now?
He is right now on DraftKings. He is priced at, let's see, 4,500.
Okay.
And then on FanDuel, he is 4,200, so even better. And then on Yahoo, he is $10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the $10 on Yahoo. I mean, the only thing for me on Sharp is that he just hasn't quite shown his ceiling game yet. I think he had one in the mid-20s. Other than that, it's been mostly in the teens. So, the question is, how much can you rely on him?
Yeah.
If Simons is out from an offensive standpoint, I think they're going to try and go to Nurkic as much as possible. So he's probably the guy that I'm targeting the most on Portland. But with my build tonight, I'm not sure I'm getting to really anyone, possibly Booker. But that's
okay.
It.
So what's crazy to me is his ownership. So on FanDuel, he is the highest of any of the three sites. You know what his ownership projection is on FanDuel?
What is it?
0.5%. That's the highest he is.
Really?
Yeah. So to me, that definitely raises my interest as a GPP.
Wow. Yeah,
option.
seriously.
Sure. I mean, that's 0.1 on Yahoo at min price. That doesn't even make sense.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, particularly starting and getting the minutes that he's getting, right?
Right. So if Simons is out, surely his ownership will go up. But if not, I mean, I'm going to be all over that play because that ownership is ridiculous.
Wow.
Do you like Cam Johnson at all in this game?
Not tonight. I've been on him a lot recently, and he is looking really good. But just with everyone else that I'm considering, Jeremy Grant, pretty good defender. So I don't see it tonight.
Is Ayton supposed to be out again?
No, I think Ayton's going to play.
Okay.
Yeah, the latest is that he's they're basically seeing him playing. So I think. I don't know how many minutes he'll get, but it's enough to destroy anyone else's value back there. And Ayton's not a bad play either, except I don't know. I haven't seen anything about his minutes yet.
All right. Well, we got one game left. Before we go to that, let's go ahead and look at the chat again, see if we got any more questions. Deb, would you play 4 studs or 5? I don't know if you can play 5. Can you?
Yeah, I think it'd be tough to do. You'd really have to go to you
have to have another mistake by Yahoo to pull that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. You just get anyone you wanted the other night. Let's see here.
It made it challenging though, right? Because everyone could do whatever they wanted.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing. You and everyone else.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah, they may have, but they did go back to normal last night. So, all right. So the last game here, the Utah Jazz, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are a 3-point favorite. It's a 228 total. There's going to be not a lot of defense on the Lakers side. So I'm assuming there's probably going to be some plays here that you like, at least from the Jazz and maybe a few Lakers. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the Lakers, the Lakers defense, they're like number 2 in the league on defense.
Really?
Yeah, they are playing.
Because I was watching them and they weren't playing a lick of defense against the Pelicans.
Shocking, right? And you look at that, you look at the player. I guess Beverly's brought a little bit of intensity. And if Davis plays, he's a good defender. Don't know if he's playing though. That's the big question mark for me. If he's playing, I like him. If he's not playing, I'll probably pivot to LeBron. I like having one of those 2 guys in my lineup tonight against Utah. More, it's going to be a pace-up game. I think it's not the highest total, one of the highest totals on the night. And those guys, between the 2 of them, just have so much usage. So I will have one of them. On the Lonnie Walker's been playing great, so he's not a bad play either. And on the Utah side, I like Markkanen tonight. And I also, along with David, I like Sexton. I think he's starting to get more minutes, and they need his offense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Jordan Clarkson going back to LA, but looking at his stats, he really hasn't really done that much. It's not like a big revenge thing for him. So
no, I think they're making a mistake this year with Clarkson. I think they should switch it around and have Sexton start and have Clarkson off the bench. Clarkson proved to be such a great 6-man, and I just think as a starter, he just
it's taken him away from what he does best. So
yeah,
it makes sense. Lonnie Walker looked really good to me in that last game. I don't know if it's just a 1-game deal, but did you get to watch any of that game?
I didn't, but I saw the stats.
He looked really good against the Pelicans. So
and he's young. So if LeBron's coaching him up and he's gaining confidence, he could be a stud. He's got the makings. He's a really good shooter, and so really interesting. And then let's see, we've got Anthony Davis ownership, 9.5% ownership on Draftkings. And on Fanduel, I'm just checking because
1.2.
Is that right on Fanduel?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Almost the same on Yahoo too. So he could definitely be a low star to play.
There you go. All right, David. You got it. Anthony Davis on Fanduel.
Yeah, I think that's a solid play because Utah doesn't really have anyone to defend him. So.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it'd be Jared Vanderbilt, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. He's much smaller than him.
Right. All right.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and do now our Boom Fantasy plays. If you have 2 that you like, if you can go ahead and give those. I actually don't have mine yet, so I'm gonna look.
I know you're gonna have to bear with me here for a second.
Okay.
We're both. Anyone in the chat have a Boom play?
Right.
Here. It shouldn't be too hard though. All right. Looking at some of the games that I liked.
Oh, Kevin Durant, 33.5 points. That's pretty high.
How about that? That is high. Porzingis there.
That kind of looks appealing to me.
Excuse me. let's take a look and see what. I don't think Ja has such a huge game tonight. I wonder what they've got him for par. 41 points, rebounds, and assists for Ja. I hate betting against Ja, but that seems a little high. Got your Steven Adams in there.
Mm-hmm.
I like Paul George. I would go over 38.5 points, rebounds, assists for Paul George tonight.
Okay.
I like that play a lot. I mean, he just gives a lot of, he gives a lot of rebounds and assists. So even if he only scores, 22, 23 points, he'll hit that. And,
they don't have Anthony Davis. Did you notice that? I just saw that.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what that's interesting.
So that's interesting. Yeah.
That's super interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Booker over 25.5 points. He killed me the other night. I had a 9-pick parlay, and all I needed was Booker over 25 points, and he didn't do it. That was painful. I do like Markkanen as well, so I'd probably go with Markkanen over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That'd be my other play.
So Markkanen and the other one, what was it?
The other one was Paul George.
Okay. I'm going to go with Giannis over 12.5 rebounds in that faster paced game. And then I'm going to take – I don't think he's going to have a huge game. I'm kind of with you on that mindset. But I do like Cameron Johnson over 14 points, I think, or 14.5 points. I think that's –
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sure. So, all right. Well – with that, we can do we want to do a Fanduel or Yahoo for our Two Brains lineup today?
You know what? I have not done a Yahoo yet. Should we try the Yahoo?
Let's do a Yahoo. Yeah.
All right, let me try and pull that up. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, to do something different. And you got the first pick, so.
Oh, hey. All right, hang on one sec. Let's go into my NBA. All right, here we go. So I have not looked at Yahoo pricing that closely yet, but I'm going to go with one of the guys that let's go with Anthony Davis at center position.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do my little value thing I always do and take Jalen McDaniels, power forward, $13.
Nice. That's a good one. Well, I'm going to, Coach says I like to spend the money.
Yeah.
So let's go with Paul George at 39.
Okay. I think that's a good price for him. And I have to take Shaden Sharp at min price. I mean, $10. You can't really beat that.
Seriously. Yeah, that's
point
good.
Guard. Yeah, point guard.
I like it. What's let's see, what's Pool's pricing at? Maxey at 23. Pool's only 19. You got to take that. That feels like a free square.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the play that I talked about earlier today, and that was Mathurin at 21. I think that's a good price.
What is he? Small forward?
Small forward, yeah.
All right. And that leaves us with 52.
Yeah, if we need to move Sharp from point guard to utility, we can do that too since he's in the late game.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it totally works. I'm going to go with, let's see, can we forwarded. If we go with Booker at 36 is pretty good. Let's see who's left at forward then at 16. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of good guys there.
Okay. All right, so you're taking Booker in the utility?
Yeah, utility spot, yeah.
Yeah, Strus works perfect. Max Strus, 16.
Yeah, you got Strus, you got Walker, you got, Strus. Okay, great. You got Max
So we
Strus.
got it.
Beautiful.
We got Shaden Sharp, Paul George, Jordan Poole, Benedict Mathurin, Jalen McDaniels, Max Strus, Anthony Davis, and Devin Booker.
Awesome.
And then hit submit, and there we go.
Two brains are better than one.
Yes.
Cool.
Anyone have any other questions before we get out of here? Let's
see what we got. How many play Yahoo? Yahoo, man, has been good to us.
Very good to us. Most consistent by
any
far.
Core picks for Draftkings tonight? Let's see. We're gonna post those core picks in Discord. So
yeah.
We always do our core for both GPP and Fanduel. So we will have some good picks there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
awesome.
if you guys want us to, I guess sometime we could probably do like a two brains Draftkings core of maybe like 4 plays or something that we like.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that actually this morning.
That could be pretty cool. That could be pretty cool. And don't forget to check out. I think Coach posted on Twitter, but we've got a new pricing structure now set up for Coach Talk, which is amazing. Like Coach is doing this. We want to really grow this, and we've talked to a lot of our members and found that really we're going to be going behind the paywall with our podcast, except for Fridays. So this is the free day. And then, was it Thursday night for football? Is that the other one that's going to be? Okay.
Yeah.
The rest are members only. And as a member, I mean, you're getting access to all of our picks. You're getting access to the group chats in Discord, the one-on-ones, and the pricing's unbelievable. I mean, Coach has reduced it basically by like 2/3, just because we feel like growing the community is the best thing right now. And so I think you can join for like $9 a week. And which is amazing. So tons of value and lots of fun to be had. So we hope you guys will take advantage. Reach out if you've got any questions at all.
Yeah, Saruji, you actually can't do that. If somebody's making full lineups of DraftKings, they're probably going to be getting banned soon because that is totally illegal.
Yeah.
So you might want to warn whoever's doing that they need to stop because they're going to get in trouble. I guarantee you. And the other thing I want to mention is Steve and I will be doing our Week 9 podcast this week because of scheduling. We will be doing our podcast at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. So different time. We're not doing it tomorrow night. It's going to be Sunday morning, and we'll be going over all our top, plays and fades for Week 9. So anything else you can think of, Deb, before we get out?
No, I think we're set.
All right. Well, we did 12 games in about 50 minutes. So I think that's pretty good efficiency, especially when we did an hour and however many minutes it was yesterday for 2 games, Coach and I. So
the speed round today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Coach, I believe Coach is doing a solo show tomorrow.
He is.
And then you and Coach will be back on Sunday, correct?
I can't do Sunday this week since I'll be at my daughter's. Yeah, we'll be in Madison. I think he might be doing solo on Sunday, but I'll be back on Monday.
On Monday. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, hope you guys have a great Friday, and we will be looking to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Boom Fantasy.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.